Do you remember Boxcar Willie? I think he was a hobo. Willie Nelson might even be a hobo. But he could be called a hobo. He sings City of New Orleans, right? So that must mean Arlo Guthrie was a hobo. I don't know. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me here today at Re-Written Vintage Homestead. Yes, I'm still coughing my head off, and no, I'm not any better. My oncologist has taken me off of my chemo medications for a week to see if maybe I've developed a upper respiratory side effect to the chemo medicine. So that will be over with on Friday. And I'm not getting any better, so I don't think it's the chemo medicine, which I'm very glad about because I didn't want to have to start a new regimen with, and get adjusted to it again and go through all of those side effects. And so, once I get back on my chemo meds, then we'll try to see what I can do to get rid of this upper respiratory problem that I have because I'm not getting any sleep and it's really wearing on me. So when it comes to making meals, I want something fast. I want something easy. And I thought of something today I haven't done in so long, and it's so fun to do, and that's make a hobo meal. So let's talk about it. So do you know how a hobo came to be about? It's an interesting part of American culture. There have always been hobos, but they started off being ho boys, like the garden hoe boys. So right after the Civil War, many of the soldiers came home and their homes were burnt, their fields were ruined. There was not any work around. So where did everybody go after the Civil War? They went west. And so they would get there by any means that they could. And they would take their hose with them, and they would tie their little handkerchiefs on there with all of their supplies, anything that they wanted to take with them. And they went west trying to find work. And so the hoe boys eventually became hobos. A lot of these gentlemen would go west for work and they would jump on trains. They would become injured, so they couldn't work elsewhere. And they weren't bums. They were actually farmers looking for work. I have about 1.75 pounds worth of ground beef here. This is a very inexpensive meal, by the way, for times like this. I tell you what, I'm living like a hobo most of the time anymore. And this is a lot like meatloaf here. We're just going to add seasonings that we like. So I'm adding salt and pepper. And I'm going to add some garlic salt. And I think I'll add some onion salt. And if you have onion soup mix that's dry, that'll make it even easier for you. Then I'm just going to take my hands and mix it all well, just like I would a meatloaf. These are fun. You can use these when you're grilling out. Just slap them on the grill for a while. We're going to make them indoors today, though. It is really windy outside. It's been in the 80s, but today it's terribly windy. And so now I'm just going to make them into patties, just like hamburger patties. I've got a tray over here with parchment paper. I'm going to get these made into patties, and then I'll show you what we're going to add to them. So I've got my oven preheating to 375, and I have taken potatoes and diced those up, not into cubes, but into slices. I've got carrots in here that I diced up. I have onions that I've cut into slices. And I have a piece of foil here that I'm going to grease with Crisco. If you have Pam, you can go ahead and use Pam. I didn't have any today, so we're just going to do it this way. So you're going to grease your foil. Then you're going to take some of your vegetables and you're going to put those in the middle here of your foil packet. It kind of helps if you try to keep it a circle. All right, so I have those, and then I'm going to add some carrots. Looks like a flower. I'm going to add some green beans, and they're just right out of the can here. Put some green beans on top. Then I'm going to put one of my meat patties on top. Push it all down together. Take some of my onion. Put it on top. And then I'm going to take some cream of mushroom soup. Oh, Evan's ready. Right out of the can here. And I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of that on each of the patty tops. Just like that. Fold your foil over. Just like you wrap in a package. Seal your ends. There you go. And then we're just going to put them on as we get them done. Our tray here. Each of those packets just like this. And we're going to bake those for about 45 minutes to an hour until they're all nice and tender and done. So I have my packets in the oven, and boy, the kitchen already smells delicious. You guys, how easy is that? You just throw it all together, wrap it up in foil, put it in the oven for about 45 minutes. And then dinner is done, and that's what I'm looking for. Inexpensive and easy. Another little interesting American factoid. One of the most famous, probably arguably the most famous hobo was named Leon Livingston. And Leon died in 1944. He was a famous hobo. He had been hoboing around the world since he was 11 years old. And he wrote a book about all of his adventures. And he actually perfected the hobo system. So what that means is he came up with signs and things to leave behind to show other hobos where they could get food, where they could find work, if there was a dangerous dog on the property, if the people who lived there were hostile. So just little clues that he would leave around, and shared those in his book and shared them with other hobos, and they created quite the system so they knew where to go so that they would be taken care of. Let's check her out. Smells fabulous. Look at that beautiful gravy. Doesn't that look delicious? And it was so easy. Look at these vegetables are very, very tender. And the meat is done and just, oh, it's just fantastic with its own gravy. I would take a bite, but it's still steaming hot. So I think I'll wait just a few more minutes. But out of that 1 3/4 pounds of ground beef, I got 5 of these packets, and I probably could have got more if I made the patties just a little smaller. So it's a very, I can't wait to eat this. It's a very affordable meal. It is so good and so easy. So you guys, let's celebrate hobos of yesteryear during the Depression and after the Civil War, not the ones today, the ones back then. If you have a version of these hobo meals you'd like to share, put it down below. I'd love to hear from you. Like, subscribe, and share if you're so inclined. I really appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a great week.